on the clock.
Go up, she lucky. She 5 mil cash in Tucky. For me, I walk up in Neiman, spend 10K just like it's nothing. I hang with the demons, they don't play by me, we cut. I was coolin', Atlanta.
The Bears are now on the clock.
I got Santa, I go monkey, all that. Gonna do just what I say. Pull up, Francis Hoover in that race. She so bad, but she said. I feel guilty, I might as well.
The Jets are now on the clock.
When it come to getting this paper, please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't save her. Say amen. Amen. They bad boys and they can't win. Check. Going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up. Tell they like my persona. Going up. Living them fast personas. We used to try them hardest. Now we pull up in the furnace. Go up. Walk in. Show up. Baby, hold up. Go up. Boy, don't touch. We flow up. Yeah.
That's what the feeling, and you ride it like a wave, crashing so the sparks can come together. Don't need a reason why the universe was made. It goes on and on and on and on forever. And it's a long flight on this battle star where we fight for love no matter where we are. And there's a big bang in this universe, and it makes me feel like the gold on way. You got me like ooh, you got me like ah, you got me like ah and ooh, with all the things you do, yeah, anything and everything a man can feel. Well, honey, I feel it with you. Baby, you're flashing, and I'm blinded by your light. I love the way you Jupiter was rising. You got me reacting like a lunatic tonight.
Now that the Jets have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about it.
Just when you thought his draft stock couldn't be any higher, here's a guy that goes out and puts on an absolute show in the College All-Star Game, being named the game's MVP. Several GMs I spoke to cite that performance as the reason many draft experts, including Matt Miller, labeled him as the clear-cut #1 quarterback in this year's draft. He's never backed down from a challenge, and I can only imagine he's chomping at the bit to meet with the coaching staff as soon as possible to begin his NFL journey.
Spinning like a satellite. You make me feel like the sun is blasting out a radio light. You got me like ooh.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
It's always great to see a running back win the Heisman. It's like a sign that the old ways of ground and pound haven't completely vanished. He was a pure workhorse for the team and accounted for well over 60% of its total offensive production. Remove him from the team, and I strongly believe it wouldn't have finished at the top of its conference. And now he has the chance to carry the ball at the next level, and this team just got a gem of a player. We'll see if he becomes its primary ball carrier right from the start, or if it incorporates him into a running back by committee system.
You got me like ooh, I'm feeling you. Yeah. You got me like yeah. You got me like
Well, if you're wondering what the delay is, I think we've got a trade coming here.
Polo to the flow though. You already know though. It's Adamville for real. You see ya. Just take a photo. I'm reppin' that's on photo with a on your bro though. Cause that Dodo thought that he could rob a player for some no-no. Oh no. Also Allen Temple. Also England Mountain. Also Mystic Valley. And I got a couple yesterday out of Cali. And my bag from the valley bought me brand new balance. That I'm playing with a no American dream, dusted roll. Man, she been riding since her daddy rode on bowl. I done in every hole, telling every I ain't with my wife, but if she meet her, might be a go. Rick Flair flashing. Don't I look dashing? Don't I look classy? Don't act so sassy. I'm the man, boo. That's with or without you. With what your say. Show me what that. I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress you. Just kill him softly with my.
The Rams are now on the clock.
They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. Hey, don't you see me out here shining, belly flexing? I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. And even if we die today, gon' live forever. Live forever. Daddy Pat say with 3 S's. Take the S's. No S's on my chest, but all these diamonds got me blessed.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about the Titans' newest player?
I heard he surprised several scouts at his pro day when he showed up looking a lot leaner, and the difference showed when he went through drills. He turned in slightly faster times than expected in every major drill and displayed improved footwork compared to how he looked at the tail end of the season. I've heard from a few different coaches that they'd like to see him put some weight back on, yet keep playing as quick as he currently is. Whether he does that or not, I think we'll see him on the line on Sundays.
I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. Don't you see me out here shining, belly flexing? I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. And even if we die today, don't live forever. Live forever. Yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know though. So go slow, back my logo, for show, Pogo. Get down on the. Yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know though. So go slow, back my logo, for show, Pogo. Now get down on the. Up the bills with my dominant hand. Yo, choose up. Take this, appreciate it. This too. If I tear up the rim shot. I'm going global, coast to coast like my G.I. Joe present. I've yet to see a Cobra. So off my rocker got me sipping club soda. Some bombs never go off, some stars never blow up. I'm pitching in, never in the dugout. Reaching in my and I can't take a head count. Flashback, 03, things was looking run down. Now I set foot in the place, it's a luau. Killing like like 10 counts. Y'all know how we get down. House with the fence around. Y'all know that we en route. Transition from the Impala to the fence.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
He had just about as inconsistent of a season as a wide receiver could have, exploding for some huge numbers some games, only to follow them up in other games where he struggled to make a catch. Sources tell me there are major concerns with his hands, pointing to several key drops throughout his career. He'll be challenged by his new coaching staff to eliminate the drops, and will need to find the consistency that once had him the talk of this year's wide receiver class he hopes to last in the NFL.
Colors burst on the cars and the jewels. I'm a wanted man. Seats looking like they got a spray tan. When I was without, not a helping hand. I got some guys that throw it back and make me drop the cans. I told Ben Frank just to drop a pin. I could let my fit go to the highest bid. Yes, I might drop in. It all depends. Junior high, I was dreaming of a 10. I'm coming clean though. I mean, not a spec. My girl be serving looks. I can the chef. Katana sword popping out my walking cane. I'm overseas, my Cali Bay like how was Spain. We getting to the money and you having issues. I bought a and it came with a wetsuit. The Buddha left me without breath. I really am a mess. I'm mooching off myself. She be hoping that I take a knee like Kaepernick. Yes, I be open to that shrimp life. This is how we live. This is how we exist. Love the kicks and we love the hits. All in the house and I'm wrecking. If I sleep, I'm a wrecker. I'm in my own world. Throw the money.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Mommy playing. Tether on leather. Money talk, it's a lecture. 80-pointers dance on me, it's electric. Don't hate, I'm still unaffected. Chipper on my shoulder, I move undetected. She said, pop the question got deflected. Man, I'm in my boy, then my brethren. Let's cut to the chase. It's only on the house when we in the place. My used to lava boys got it up in some flames. Stirring up the cup with my wrist souffle. Shaka Zulu chains with my...
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Swing, don't say my name.
The Rams are now on the clock.
To your door like...
The Packers are now on the clock.
Then we watch
The Saints are now on the clock. Well, let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the 49ers' latest pick.
The two most important qualities any defensive back should have are fluid hips and the ability to attack the ball in midair. Unfortunately, he didn't flash either of those at the combine. He turned in one of the slowest performances in the back pedal and turn drills, while his slow reaction time and change of direction speed caused him to miss on several passes. From Matt Miller's perspective, he looked completely lost during the drill, searching for the ball each time he turned around. The coaches are going to have a lot of work to do with him, but hopefully we'll see some improvement in the preseason.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Sounds fruity. Yeah. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fire like dragon. Man, I'm flying past Saturn. Out of here like I ain't that savage. Two. It's like I'm at the studio with Michael. You can hear me dancing on the beat. Ben, about to put a mansion on the beach. 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that my mommy. I will never give my heart to a I can just make a dance that goes with this song. Then I'ma be on. Basic, gon' dance to it. Basic, everywhere, gon' dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White rain.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, ball in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, I got 2 shows, I'm about to pitch another. Throwing alley-oops to my brothers. We all shine, nobody victims. I'm on these sweatsuits, black Pippins. I swag different. That's why the money in the bag different. Come up short, you'll have your fam. I lay on beaches and swerving whips. You ain't serving, you just an urban myth. Every day get flea, ride around Queens on a jet ski, it's me. Every day get to the day I die. Every day get, man, I'll that.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Bouncing up and down, nearly broke. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock.
Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my hair like it's second nature. Big make me stare like second nature. Says disappear like second nature. On the same block like an hour later. Whole team eating but it's only right. There's a spare plate but you're the phony type. J-Hut's ugly in it. Baby 1 minute. You're looking wicked. Hey yo, I started off gentle. My stroke game mental. My lifestyle eventful. I didn't mean to offend you. Fendi belt saying I style like I'm mental. Moving wild and mental. I made another 5 this week. Your money playing hide and seek. I don't even like to speak. I just tell him hi and bye. Slide up automatic Hyundai. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep the chip in my hair like it's second nature. Big make me share like second nature. Say you're gonna do it, yeah, I haven't did it. I'm handling it, handy with it. Think I'ma do it, let that do it. Bang. Stick jam like what happened to it. Was it not working, bruv? Why you think I'm lurking, bruv? Creep on him, lean on him. Witnesses eavesdropping, keep popping. They keep bopping like I ain't seen nothing. Don't make me upset. Reach for an object. Who's that in the passenger? Brown skin, she got big body. In my face. On me, money I got that for me. You're not popping.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Your opinion, always destined for brilliance. Wouldn't rest on a million, dressed as civilians. All their masked up, looking creepy. Park up, jump out, jump in. Skirt out like it's too easy. If anybody else didn't see me. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay.
The Vikings are now on the clock. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
He's one of the few receivers in college that no matter what sort of coverage you threw at him, he always came away with the ball. A great example is one of his impressive touchdown catches that has been on highlight reels ever since. He was late in the game, and the defense knew who the quarterback was going to target. He was surrounded by 3 defenders when his quarterback put the ball in the air. And even though he was completely swamped, somehow he managed to pluck the ball right over the defenders' heads. He isn't the biggest receiver, but he has the ability to stretch and make the play, essentially making him a larger and taller target and a real threat in the red zone. I think this team got a possible difference maker at receiver.
Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Then like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show him how to act. Okay, now picture little Bobby, just a younger run around with his man's in his hand, feeling like a man. Run for the put it to your brain like. Everybody know you ain't about it. Everything you talk about, I know I can live without it. Red light, stop, green light, go. Everything ain't what it seem like. I know. Hold up, what you mean? Where you been in? This is merely the beginning again. What you been living in? The box under the bridge, like Anthony Kiedis, looking for something to complete us and maybe lead us. A long way from equal is how they treat us. Body of a builder with the mind of a fetus. Turn on the television and see the vision.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know. I've been knocking dough down like a Jehovah's Witness. God is my witness, I'm witness, but on the real I think I need another witness. If it was 17,
The Patriots are now on the clock.
change a thing, like skin.
The Rams are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
No receiver had a rougher outing at the All-Star game than he did. Even though he was targeted plenty of times throughout the game, he came away with a giant 0 on the stat sheet. When I asked Matt Miller what the issue was, he told me there were several problems. For one, he never seemed to build chemistry with the quarterbacks on the roster. The timing of the throws, in combination with his routes, made each pass a difficult one to bring in. He also seemed to be the most tightly covered receiver, even though they cycled through different defenders each drive. He had a difficult time adjusting to the faster play and rarely got separation from the corner to make an open field grab. Regardless of his issues, the fact that he was drafted tells me the team wasn't concerned with his play at the All-Star game. Maybe a little consistency is all he needs.
Like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show him how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show him how to act.
Yeah, pulling up with the coupe.
Oh my goodness.
Must have done same with the roof.
Oh my goodness.
You sitting looking stupid on the stoop.
Oh my goodness.
I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme, love crime. It's a shame they let us jump out of Bentleys with dirty vans. Hit the stage for 15 minutes, get 30 bands. Swiss bank counting clean money with dirty hands. With some hood that's ready to with the. Since I came in and made my name a name brand. French.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Threw up the pyramids, now they say we Illuminati. I'm a tsunami, what the is a little yachty. No blood diamonds, I rock gold like a king. Jury so cold, made them blow the nose off the Sphinx. You think I'ma be some type of role model? I go full throttle, desperado, that's the motto. Vic in Chicago is Hugh Hef at the grotto. Brazilian model, she mean mugging like Frida Kahlo. Drinking it with an Alicia Machado. I'm the ticket, you just hit the lotto. Pulling up with
The Lions are now on the clock.
done same with the roof.
Oh my goodness.
You sitting looking stupid on the stoop.
Oh my goodness.
I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme, love
Young
crime.
Vic the diamonds, finest. I shine like puff shine. Shines if I sign to the rock, cause I'm timeless. Top off the Mozzie, my behavior is mindless. On kids, we major, you mindless. Fresh out the cell to the booth. Drop
The Titans are now on the clock.
tell,
The Eagles are now on the clock.
club.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
False flagging, you a fat.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
What you know about
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Barry Lee, your head ringing.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Chain swinging.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Blame breaking. I'm
The Bears are now on the clock.
y'all playing. We
The Jets are now on the clock.
Himalayan. The lotto, that's a sacrifice. sacrificial lamb. I'm season cam, no lives matter, blam. Pulling up with the coupe. Oh my goodness. Must have done same with the roof. Oh my goodness. You sitting looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north. Oh my goodness. Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The law, it's a shame, rhyme, love crime.
Every other night I'm outside with the. You ain't got chips. The world, you got chips. You could the next man's girl. Sounds harsh, but they been ripped apart my world. The way Kiss told it should never be misquoted. The that you wave on the camera, we been toting. Selling love potion my whole rap career. So your streams and downloads could never match the kids. We could go foreign until it's boring. My sheep will keep jumping the fence until you're snoring. Street poetry, I'm more Wale for Lauren. Till the world is mine like Illmatic and Lauren. Written on to a table full of fresh skin in the type of rappers we know. Got the right numbers on it. Burn the Carter down like I'm Nino.
Pulling up with the coupe. Oh my goodness. Must have done same.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north. Oh my goodness. Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness. The law.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Love crime.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Rather you than me.
The Packers are now on the clock.
If you've been with me for
the Saints are now on the clock.
It's been a journey.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Ain't nothing changed.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
A little stronger.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
I'm pulling off the lot, I bought the cash. Whoa. Her future bright, don't give nobody bad. Whoa. Be looking good inside the whoa. But I noticed that she missing all the edges. Whoa. I run the game just by running with the whoa. Poor attitude, they got rich calisthenics. Whoa. Walking in the courtroom, sipping on the beverage. I know the judge, so I got a lot of leverage. This is a fetish. Fully loaded on the 7. Your dog did a damn, you never wrote a letter. Whoa. Still in the box, got a rapping acapella. Whoa. Kim Treasure, people with the weapon. Whoa. I got it, boy, don't make me be the devil. Whoa. He knocking on the door and know the password. Gave me his blessings while I'm hotter than the last verse.
Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go to truth.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Feds. Let's go to trial. We guilty to proving innocent.
I got that in like Tommy Lee. I make money. I make money. On my third passport, and I got at the airport. I got Bowling Green dollars on my dollars. Busting down 100 in the bathtub. Get some house shoes. I got money. I got war wounds. Get the cushion on that. Ain't no dance moves. I was posted on the stoop, hanging with my Haitians. On the news, on front page.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
She love me like she need me. I got my Maybach flooded out with extra TVs. I make a movie every single day. I judge a vulture when I flip the padded face.
Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go to trial. We guilty to proving innocent.
Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Feds. Let's go to trial. We guilty to proving innocent.
Hands on me, got the yellow brace. Check off in my pocket like the yellow paste. Was what I was asking. Loafers in the, I keep it classy. Build an empire, yeah, that was my state of mind. Yeah, mind. Keep the blocks over there, we call it Lego Land. Meanwhile, it's like it's Amsterdam.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Got the trophy. 16 when I bought my first rollie. Legend in my hood, just like a never ride in the extra car. Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go to trial, we guilty to proving innocent.
Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
The Patriots are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Montana.
You know, I'm like, yeah, nice P, you know?
What up, Pink?
Man.
La música de Harry Fraud.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci, but don't you be.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock.
Chanel scarf like rainbow. $1,000. This ain't your cloth.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
I can see the noodles.
The Colts are now on the clock.
I'm thinking about
The 49ers are now on the clock.
the option is
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
secret to the youth. Your goals are mad.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Y'all be vaping, I be laden. Yes, y'all be aping. I'm Richard Mill Nation. No diamonds, just tourbillon facing with gears and sprockets with the sapphire casing.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci, but don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Here's a little story about a kid from Morocco. Had to show Carlito I was Benny Blanco. Check it out. Raindrop, all set. Plug, we the outlet. Shot put me in the box, I'm in the box off. All the face shorty, socks off. Mac Miller, Reggie Miller, the killer, Canaries, Black Stiller, White Villa, Fresh vanilla, garage like a kill himself. Lauren Hiller, get up. Crib Calabasas on the hill. I had him morning, plate. Beatles won't Beatles on the red carpet. Alcatraz bars, crash cars, ain't no future in front. My homie rip your mask off.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci, but don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this.
Whip, run me like a racehorse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip. Word upon your lip. Rather that you rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline.
Giants are now on the clock.
Looking at my body feeling miserable. Always hanging on to the visual. I wanna be invisible. Looking at my years like I'm out of dumb. Everybody needs to be a part of them. Never be enough, I'm the prodigal son. I was born to run, I was born for this.
The Lions are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Build me up, I wanna be the slip, word upon your lip, ready that you rip, break me down and build me up, whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins, I do whatever it takes. 'Cause I love how it feels when I break the chains, whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top, I'm ready for whatever it takes.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
I do what it takes, but critical, egotistical. Don't wanna be the parenthetical, hypothetical. Working under something that I'm proud of. Out of the box, an epoxy to the world and the vision we've lost. I'm an apostrophe. I'm just a symbol to remind you that there's more to see. I'm just a product of the system of catastrophe, and yet a masterpiece, and yet I'm half diseased. And when I am deceased, at least I go down to the grave and die happily, and leave the body of my soul to be a part of me. I do what it takes, whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Feels when I break the chains, whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top, I'm ready for whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do what it takes.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock.
I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest, I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe.
LOV on my right leg, that's Gucci. Hear what I'm saying? LOV on my man, that's Gucci.